The question of when did I feel called to be ordained, it's a bit of a complicated question. I was a preacher's kid, so I grew up in a family that my dad was an Episcopal priest, so it was very normative, but I entered a career of doing international peace building, and I traveled the entire world in my 20s, and I lived in South Africa for a year, and I was very influenced by Desmond Tutu and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings, and just how the world could respond to conflict in a way of peace and in reconciliation and relationship. So that was in my early 20s, and I joined a church in Washington, D.C. that was very urban and diverse, and I fell in love with it, and I felt that I could, in my 20s, really claim my own faith and what it would look like for me to be a person of faith outside of being a preacher's kid. And I was on the vestry in my 20s. I volunteered for their breakfast ministry there at 6 a.m. I was there at church for 8 hours a day, and eventually I thought to myself, I should make a vocation of this if I'm already spending so much time here. So it wasn't until I entered seminary in my 30s and was ordained when I was 33. But you know, the job was always a faith job. Faith was always driving my vocation, and I landed as a priest in my 30s. I was blessed to see the role, women being active in the church in an ordained way, even as a young child. So I was born in 1975, which was right between the Philadelphia 11 and then when the church fully recognized the ordination of women. But I can remember as a young child, so in the late 1970s, early 80s, there was an associate at my father's church, a woman. So my earliest memories, there was a woman ordained in the church. 50 years of women's ordination means so much to me. The fact that these women went before me and paved the way for me allowed me to, I feel, embody the dream God had for me. And that dream for me is really being able to pair two vocations, the vocation of the priesthood and the vocation of motherhood.